Udit Agrawal joins us, team lead with CAPA, and we got to understand that what is going to happen with this jumbo order, not for jumbo jets, it's an Airbus, but jumbo order by IndiGo and Tata's. How will the landscape in India change? Good morning. Thank you for joining us. My first question is that the headline number from Indigo is very impressive. But if I look at the fine print, I think all they're indicating and committing is to a 15% growth and a little bit of addition to foreign flight and maybe some fleet replacement, and it sounds logical. So do you think we should not get carried away with this 500 plane jumbo order they've given?
Hi, good morning. Looking at this order, yes, there are certain things that you've highlighted, but when we look at this order, it's a historic order in the terms of volume. And on the back of the order which Air India placed in February this year, 470 aircraft, this is sort of solidifying or cementing our India's growth trajectory in the aviation sector. So in terms of, yes, you're right, there will be replacement of existing fleet and then there will be addition. So in terms of Indigo, we are looking at somewhat doubling of their fleet by FY30. And then beyond that, further replacement and growth is also now in view because of this recent order. But as I said previously, the good thing or the important thing to look at is that it is sort of restoring faith in our Indian aviation, and in the future we will expect massive growth in the demand and supply.
Problem with the aviation sector is that when the industry is good, everybody is bullish. When the industry is bad, everybody is bearish. We've seen a similar kind of an phase when Kingfisher was expanding, Indigo was expanding, SpiceJet was expanding, and then we know what happened after that. My challenge is that there's so much of capacity expansion for a cyclicality, for a cyclical sector. Do you think this could backfire?
To look at the present two airlines who have placed these large orders, both these airlines have patient capital on their back. They have support in terms of demand, as we know that the growth in the sector is, of course, going to be there. And as you rightly said previously, we have seen some instances, but here it is I would say, better for the industry, because when we see these replacements and the new age aircraft coming into play, we would see cost improvements and we would see improvements in terms of fuel consumption, and the better new age engines would help. So, in a larger sense, now that we have two mega carriers and two of them with a considerably strong balance sheet and financial support, I don't think that we should see a similar situation. And of course, as I said, the demand is still there to support. As we at CAPA feel that maybe in 20 years, the traffic may go up to about 1.3 to 1.6 billion passengers from the present 200 million. And to support this demand, a huge order, a huge fleet, maybe to the tune of 4,000 aircraft is needed. So this is a step in the right direction. And as we already know that these orders take a long time to materialize, 10 to 15 years. And we already know Airbus and Boeing have a significant backlog. So it's a prudent step in the right direction. We need to display this sense of urgency in sort of putting the orders in place to get those timely delivery slots and capitalize on the demand as and when it grows up.
Sure. So your point being that Indigo hasn't bit more than it can chew, it's pretty much prudent to order right now given the demand momentum that you're seeing. But the other thing we were discussing with it was the fact that whether India has the necessary infrastructure in terms of airports, etc., to back the kind of demand as well. What's your take there with respect to the recent announcements and the scale up that we should expect in the airport infrastructure?
Right. So very aptly, the importance in sort of supporting these mega carriers' growth is the improvement in the infrastructure. I would not limit it to the airports itself. It is both the airports and the airspace which need to sort of considerably improve. In terms of airports, already we are seeing a dual airport system in Goa. We have Noida airport coming up, which will again form a dual system in Delhi NCR. Similarly in Bombay. So we feel that there will be a significant growth in terms of possibly a third airport which may come up in the near horizon. So like airlines are placing orders in terms of anticipating the growth in the next 10, 15 years, so do the airports need to. And airports to the tune of 60 or 80 million passengers per annum in the long term may not be good enough. We would need to envisage and plan for airports, allocate land, etc., for maybe much larger airports to the tune of 150 to 200 million passengers over a long time. So definitely what you're saying is right. We do need that capacity or maybe the infrastructure strengthening in the long term. And that has to happen in parallel with this demand, because the two key pillars in terms of supporting this demand in India is and worldwide is airlines and airports. So both of these need to move hand in hand. And honestly, with the kind of privatization that we are seeing and with the kind of capex that is being put in airports, there is again a momentum that is seen there, and in the near future we should see some significant developments in terms of capacity.
Udit, there's increased competition in the sector as well, right? Of course, with Go Air going away for at least temporarily, we have seen increased market share for the likes of IndiGo, etc. But then there are smaller niche names coming, the likes of Jetwings, etc. Do you think there's enough space for everyone when it comes to the Indian skies and all these new names which are coming up?
So yes, I do definitely feel that there is enough scope for all of these airlines to grow, looking at the tremendous growth potential that is there in the industry. But yes, in terms of competition, it will be primarily a two airline or a three airline in case a third airline is able to as in grow rapidly. But we will see a price rationalization. We will see a competitive competition. But very categorically, we need to look at that India has one key FSC and one key LCC, which are both poised to make substantial growth. So from that perspective, there is going to be a rational market structure. And I feel that there will be enough space for smaller players to grow in line with the increasing demand.
Okay, good to hear that. IndiGo, for now at least, is the big buzzer in trade. Udit, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for taking the time out
Thank you.
and analyzing what this mega order from Airbus really means for the Indian aviation sector and, of course, for IndiGo in particular. Currently, the